Morning, folks. This is just a quick one this morning. As well, yesterday was Remembrance Sunday, and we should never forget the Tommies that never come home. For sure, we should. And before anyone jumps in and condemns the men and probably women that went to the First World War and say, "Oh, it was all the bankers' war," we know who starts all this. We know it's the banking fraternity that starts all wars and all crises and stuff like that around the world. It's going to be very quick. I'm going to be gone from here by about 8:15, right? 8:20. But the point is this: we wasn't there in that time period, all right? Each souls in their particular time period, they deal with the issues that they deal with. You wouldn't have been brave enough to say you wasn't going to war back then, and you certainly wouldn't have been brave enough to question it. Why? Well, the death penalty was still around and you would have been shot for fucking treason. That's the reason why. So, different time periods back then. All right, Gold, how you doing? How you doing, Seds? You all right? Happy days. Nice to see you. So we weren't around back then. So it would have been very hard for us to judge. And the point is this: if you didn't go over the top of the trenches, you was taken round the back, a very quick court-martial and shot. And so when people say, "Oh, my government wouldn't do this to me," they wouldn't do that. You've really got to wake up. You're idiots. You've got to see the bigger picture. Everyone in my country, right? And what I want to tell you guys, you're the law. Right? You're the law. The people of this country and the people around the world, you're the law, not government. You are. As individuals, you are. Right? But we roll over. And yesterday, Liverpool bombing. Why? Liverpool explosion. Because it was Remembrance Sunday. I'm not, when it comes to immigration and that, it's a subject I don't really talk about. I was very, very upset a couple of years ago when the British government, whoever the fuck these people are, turned around and started saying they were going to export the Windrush generation and the children from the Windrush generation that weren't nationalised or citizenized or whatever the words that they used in this country. I think it's an absolute travesty. And I was right proper gutted. And I spoke to a few individuals that were facing being sent back to the Caribbean. And I just think it's disgusting. I've stood next to a mate of mine, a Sikh man called Raj, who was, his wife wasn't allowed to come in the country. And he's got kids with her. And I stood with him with a master at the Royal Courts. It just brought tears to my eyes, just how wicked this British establishment is. But we're at a breaking point. There's thousands and thousands. Look, immigration is one of them. Look, my brother's an immigrant. He lives in Australia. He went out there 10, 12 years ago. He's not into blowing people up. And I get why people come to this country from Afghanistan, Iraq and that and want to blow us up. I get it. I understand the mentality. We've destroyed their countries. We've destroyed their structure. We've killed their wives. We've killed their animals. We've blown their houses up. If you think these people are going to come to this country and not want to have a beef, you're mistaken. Of course they are. And would I? If someone attacked my country and killed my wife and killed my kids, are you pretty sure I want to go out and have a beef with it? I shouldn't as a Christian, but it's inherent. It's in our nature. So these guys and girls that are coming here from Afghanistan and Iraq, they're smiling at your face a bit like the devil, but they will stab you in the back. And that is because they want to seek vengeance. And I get it. And now the churches are opened up. They're moving the pews out. The army are giving them, guys and girls, the war is coming. Whether you can see it or not, I don't know. I just hope it's not too late until the time that it is that you see it. When is it that you're going to wake up? When is it you're going to come out of your bubble? When? I just don't know. This government don't care about you. They never have done. They don't care about your kids. They don't care about your life. They don't care about your property. They smashed the granny out. I'm sick of it. I am absolutely sick to death. I want to see an end to the British establishment. I really, really do. The British are the problem. The British establishment are the problem. It's not anyone who's black, who's white, who's Chinese, who's Indonesian. It's not that. It's the British government, guys. Wake up. Bloody well wake up. Now, just before I do go on anymore, if you're in these local courts and these HMCTSs and all that, I want you to, this is not my law, and I'm going to say this again. This is Magna Carta, which is still law in this country today, right? The establishment can't get rid of the Constitution. They can't do, all right? Clause 40, to no one will we sell, to no one will we deny or delay right or justice, all right? If you'll get in trouble, oh, no, you need to pay a fee. Hang on a minute. Clause 40 of Magna Carta, you watch him give you justice then, right? You watch him give... Look, Cedric, I don't care who's black, who's white. I've really got no problem with colour. It doesn't bother me. I've never sat with a man who's black or white or Chinese and looked at him and thought, well, he's a... We're all the same. But when it comes to common sense and if we're being blown up and if we're going to have our throat slit, I want you to know about it, right? I'm not too scared to talk about that. If we had rational immigration where people would come to this country and they were just checked out to make sure they're sound and they've got rationality to them, they're not coming for war, different story. But we're supposed to be in the understanding that this immigration thing is coming to this land and these people are coming from desperate times, but they're all coming with mobile phones. They come with quite nice looking clobber and that. And I've got to say to myself, well, where's all the women and the children? Yeah, I'm honest, guys. I'm honest. I've got a coloured TV. Look, you know, we can all we look when we realise it doesn't matter for black, white, Chinese. I hate talking about colour as well because I think it's a deflection of where we should be going when we're all supposed to love one another. We need to understand who our true enemy is, and the true enemy is the British establishment. They're the enemy of the people of this country. Get rid of look, listen, they got rid of your English Parliament, right? You've got a Scottish, a Welsh Assembly, whatever it is. They give you the guys that they're working for and on behalf of the people of their country. But what happened to the English Parliament? Why did the English Parliament go? Why is the British establishment wanting to ride roughshod over the Constitution? When I was at the Royal Courts the other day, this clerk, this usher, a really nice man, really, really nice man, Peter he was. I was high-fiving him. We was having the right old time. I said to him, what if the court... So I said to him, we need to see a judge. I said, you're going against the Constitution. He went, no, they won't see her. I said, but why not? They have sharp shop. The judge, listen, you go and spend 10 minutes with a judge of this country. You go and spend anyone with any time in the authority or the police. You'll soon see how much you are hated. They hate you. They despise you. They want to destroy this country, and they're going to do it because no one's brave enough to stand up and do anything about it. No one. And I said to this Peter about this and that, and he said they've ridden over justice. He said they don't care about justice no more. And when we spoke to this Master Fontaine, my mate called her Flower. Now, most women in this country, regardless of age, when someone addresses them as Flower, they should get quite a nice emotion. It should be, oh, he quite likes me. He's sending me some affection. Not this one. Not Senior Barbara Master Fontaine. No, she turned around and went, I'm not your Flower. I'm like, that epitomises the judiciary. Your attitude and your hatred towards all of us epitomises exactly what I and other people talk about. You hate us. The British establishment hate us. They're a foreign occupying force in this country. I so hope you're going to get this. I so hope you're going to get this before this goes proper boo-boo. Proper boo-boo. And now, apparently, the immigrants that are coming to this country, they're in the churches. And there's 20,000 came yesterday. Guys, they're amassing an army. You shouldn't be, you should be wide awake, right? It's a bit like Troy. You know, you couldn't penetrate Troy. And I guess England's a bit like that. You know, we're surrounded by all the water that goes round from Land's End, John O'Groats to your testicles down this end, right? That's the truth. So you send in a Trojan horse, and the Trojan horse is the British establishment. That is Troy. The British establishment, they're foreign to this nation. We should have an English Parliament, right? And we should have people in there of common sense, common value, common love, common dignity. But we don't. Everyone you come up against in the police now and the judiciary despise and hate you. And they are going to come for you. And they're going to let this manifest. Make no mistakes about it. There is some tricky times coming, guys and girls. I only do this so that I get the feeling and the vibration for it. But you guys, I just hope you're prepared for what's coming. I really do. There are a lot of women and children the media won't show them. Exactly. Oh, is that right, said so? There could be. But Yeah, maybe the media. Maybe then the media is. I mean, we know the media's a wicked, wicked thing. It's censored. It's got a narrative, an agenda. The British establishment is so agendarized. It really is. Look, they're taking kids from pregnant mothers, you know, of all colours and creeds. When you have your baby, if the state wants the baby, if it can sell it on the open market for whatever it can get for it, that baby's going. It doesn't matter what you say or how much you love that kid. They're going to nick that child. And they are nicking that children now. And it's all done under the guise of, oh, safety, safety. We're so worried about. They don't care about your safety. There's no one in social services cares about the safety of your child. Most kids that get put into foster care go on and get abused. They go and get abused. Yeah, and most try and kill themselves. I know so many people. I know so many people that have been through the care system, that have been abused sexually, had men's penises in their bottoms. You don't get this on the BBC, do you? You tell me the last time you got any chit-chat like this on the BBC. And for the rest of their lives, they're scarred. They're scarred, mentally scarred, and they try and take their own lives. It's disgusting. I'm sick of this system. I'm sick of the police with their violence and their thievery and their disgusting nature. I'm sick of the judiciary. Personally, I think we should erect a load of gallows in fucking Whitehall and put their heads in nooses. Yeah, just give them that frightener. And you watch them change them. Look, all these dictators have always come to a messy end. Mussolini, Hitler, Stalin, whoever it is. Not Stalin, actually, but you name them, Pol Pot and all these other dictators. They've got a time slot. You want to take over a country and subvert. See, listen, the Germans, when the Third Reich came to power in Germany, they subverted the German constitution. The German parliament was very, very similar to ours back in the day when we had the constitution. We still do have it. But Hitler rose above it. The constitution of Germany never, ever disappeared. It's just that the system at the time, the Third Reich, ignored, because they had all the weapons and the guns, they ignored their constitution and went on with their own agenda. And they used the force to back it up with. Exactly the same as what's happening in this country right now. I said back in the 90s when Tony Blair came to power, he was a modern day Heinrich Himmler. He subverted that parliament. He subverted the House of Lords, and he basically got rid of loads of them. And he said, right, the rest of yous that don't go along with my narrative, you're going to get sacked. Other than that, join the payroll and welcome. He subverted the English constitution. It does still exist today, guys. Make no mistake about it. The Bill of Rights, Petition Rights, Magna Cartas, all these other things that put the limitations on the Crown. If you go into a court and you put them towards them, it works. It does work. It has to work. It has to work. But this government is trying its hardest to smash you all and bring. There's going to be no peace all the time you have this British establishment, guys and girls, and the things are just going to get worse. And you can carry on going, oh, no, don't worry about it, don't worry about it, don't worry about it, don't worry about it. Oh, no, someone's going to fix it. No, they ain't. No, they ain't going to fix it. The only ones that are going to fix it are you. By all coming together, standing side by side alongside one another and get your country back. That's the only way you're going to swap this out. You ain't never changing nothing. Otherwise, you can go protesting, you can go and shit your pants outside Parliament. It ain't doing jack. Nothing. It ain't doing nothing. But I just wonder how far this has to descend into narcissism and chaos and ugliness before you raise your heads and go, actually, I deserve better than this. I deserve a better world than this. I deserve a better country. I deserve better governance. Come on. We have to do this together, guys. You know, I want to stand next to everybody. I want them all to stand, link hands and say, we want the goodness back. That's all I want, guys. I want goodness back. I want peace back. I want greatness back. I want you to be able to have your children and not live in fear. I want you to be able to do whatever it is you want to do as long as it's lawful and have no one from the state coming through your door. Apparently now, from today, in Australia, g'day the Aussies, mate, g'day there, down there with their old thundercarts and their utes and their tinnies. Anyone that's been unjabbed is not going to be allowed out. Not going to be allowed out unless you've had the double jibber jabber. You are not going out in Australia. Australia is kicking off. Make no mistakes about it. And before I disappear, right, because it's coming up now, I best get going. I've got to go and do some plastering today. There was a Christian man, and I know I bang on about Christianity, but the spirit is more what I'm interested in. That spirit, that everyone that you want to change the world, that you do your videos, it don't matter. I don't care whether you call yourself Christian, whatever. You're spiritual. Cedric Edwards is a spiritual man because he's got that spirit in him, and you've all got the spirit in, and that spirit rises. And I'm going to tell you this story about this guy that was in America that would not, for religious reasons, pick up a weapon. And when he joined the army out there, conscripted him because of the Second World War, all of the people that he trained with despised him. They turned their back on him because they thought he was a coward and that he weren't doing this. And all it was Christ said, I can't pick up a weapon and shoot my brother, right? Now, this guy was hated. He was cast out. He was demonized, but he never let it faze him. He kept reading his book and he kept sticking to the word, right? When they went into battle in somewhere in Japan, I shall find the name of this guy again. He is flipping awesome, right? He went as a medic. Now, most people that have religious exemptions and this and that, whatever you want to call them, that won't pick up a weapon and go and shoot his brother. Because remember, the good book says, don't take your brother's blood, because if you do, I'm going to want yours and I will require yours. That's what God says. So they've gone to this thing and they've gone up this ridge, and all at the top, all these blokes getting killed. And this guy, the medic, went flying up there, and he spent hours and hours and hours up there getting the soldiers that were still alive, that were wounded and injured, and he got them back to the cliff, and he was letting them down on rope, and his hands were cut to shreds, right? Hands were cut to shreds. And he went and found the Japanese that were wounded, and he lowered them down as well. And then he came down absolutely exhausted. This lad's been up there forever and a day. By whatever miracle, he dodged the bullets. They sent him away to get healed because his hands and he was so exhausted. Hacksaw Ridge, right? Hacksaw Ridge. That's exactly what it was. And then, because of that man's bravery, when they were going to go back and attack it again, the troops that he'd studied with and done his time with at base camp, and they couldn't stand him, they said, we ain't going back without him. And their platoon leaders went, excuse me, you go. No, until he comes with us, we ain't going back into battle. That's the power of the spirit right there. That man single-handedly showed his troop and his, in that world at that time, just how powerful the spirit is, just how powerful that is. And this is what you need to get in you. You need to get the spirit. You need to get the power. You need to say, do you know what? I am going for this. I am going to stand in righteousness. I'm going to stand in goodness, and I'm going to get my country back, and I'm going to stand in the light. That's what you got to do. I will. They never ever coming round to my house and saying you can't go out. I'll tell them fuck off. I will. No one's ever curfewing me. No one's ever taking my freedoms away. And do you know what? Before I do disappear, that is what drives me. That is what drives me, is freedom. Freedom to get up in the morning and think, do you know, I'm going to do that today, to do this today, to do that today. My freedom and your freedom is the value. It's more important than anything in this world. It's more important than food. It's more important than politics. It's more important than anything else. Your freedom, your God-given rights are worth fighting for. I just hope you're brave enough to stand up and fight for your God-given rights. I really do, because they're being lost ever so fast now. Australia, watch Australia. Australia is going to descend into a war zone. If the system don't back off and yield very soon, that people of that country are going to smash the granny out of the system, let me tell you. And it will be the system that comes off worse. Make no mistake about it. This new world order thing they're trying to usher in ain't happening. Why? Because the spirit is rising. The phoenix is rising. We are going to smash it. So, guys and girls, it's now time to grab your balls, and girls. It's time. The girls have more balls than the boys. The girls have more balls and gusto than the boys. Trust me. They are far, far, far greater than the boys right now. Let me tell you. Read your passport page under the right to travel. Absolutely right, June Gower. OBG show freedom. It's freedom, guys. That's the value. Your life, your liberty, your spirit, your freedom is the power. It is worth fighting for. They're never, ever going to stop me going out. They're just not going to do it. They're just not going to do it. Woe betide anyone that comes up against me, guys and girls, let me tell you. Anyway, I'm off. I've got to go to work. Love you and leave you. Listen to all the Tommies that never come back from World War One. We'll never forget you. We appreciate what you did for us. And I'll see you all very, very soon. And listen, it's coming on top. It's time to pay attention. All of the ones that are sleeping out there, their dreams are going to get shattered in the not too distant future. But we need to be there for them. We need to pick up the pieces. We need to be the people that think outside the box. All right. When we realise that we as a people need just to come together, put all your politics to one side, put all your leaning into your own interpretation to one side. Don't look at a black man or a Chinese man and think he's less than you. They're not. We're all equal. We're all equal. And when we come together and we surround each other in that envelope of love and we go forward as a unit with no falling out, we just have a mutual respect for one another. Then we can change the world. Then we can change things. And only until then will it happen. Take care.